Hey everyone, it's Caitlin and welcome to another video. And today we are talking pasta, but not just any pasta recipe, a one-pot pasta recipe. I've posted several one-pot recipes in the past. My one-pot mushroom stroganoff is like the most popular recipe on my blog. Then I also have one-pot spinach and artichoke pasta, and I feel like I have one more. Oh, one-pot pumpkin pasta. But today we're going back to basics. We're going to be making a very easy one-pot pasta recipe, like a classic red sauce pasta. I've seen a lot of one-pot recipes on the internet for pasta, and they typically don't have a sauce in them, but I wanted my sauce to be in my pasta, so then it's like a total one-pot meal. I just don't want to drizzle it in like oil and vinegar or whatever. So for this recipe, you're essentially going to need some pasta. You can use any shape that you'd like, but shorter noodles will work better. And then tomato sauce, which is going to be our sauce. You can make your own, but I like to go the store-bought route. Again, any pasta sauce that you like. So again, pretty customizable. A ton of veggies, or as little as you want, and just the right amount of water, so when we cook the pasta in our pan, it absorbs all the liquid perfectly, so by the end, the pasta is cooked to al dente perfection, and the only thing that's left is your sauce and tender veggies. So if that sounds good to you, guess what? It should sound even better because it's really easy, customizable, and it's ready in just about 20 minutes, so it's basically the perfect weeknight dinner. But rambles aside, I'll show you how to make it right now. So let's get into it. So this recipe can be pretty customizable, but I'm going to show you how to make it using the ingredients you see here. To start out, we are going to take our pasta and put it in the bottom of a pan. I am using some gluten-free brown rice pasta. I have more notes about what pasta is best to use in my blog post, which is linked in the description of this video. After you add your pasta, we're going to add some thinly sliced onion, some cherry tomatoes, some zucchini. I chopped mine pretty thin here so it would cook nice and evenly, plus some sliced cremini mushrooms. And we're also going to add some minced garlic. I added some red chili flakes because I like a little heat. And we're also going to add some salt here because you typically normally salt pasta water. And because we're adding a lot of veggies to this pasta too, it just doesn't taste like there's enough salt in it, just relying on the sauce alone. So speaking of sauce, we're also going to add that in now too, along with the water. The exact measurements are in the blog post. Basically, there's just a standard ratio that you follow, and you could double this recipe if you're using a larger pot, but you're just going to mix everything together and then bring this mixture to a boil. I will say on pots though, I would definitely recommend using a pot with a wider bottom because this gives more surface area to warm up and it just cooks your pasta faster. So once the mixture comes to a boil, you're pretty much going to let it simmer until the pasta becomes al dente. So you're just going to stir occasionally to make sure nothing sticks to the bottom of the pan. This is more important later on as more water gets absorbed, but it's still good to mix everything around just to make sure everything is cooking evenly. And as you can see, the veggies will start to cook and wilt and the pasta will start to cook, so the water level is decreasing. And you can also see this by some of the starch in the pasta sort of mixing with the pasta sauce. It's becoming like a brighter reddish orange color as opposed to the red when I first put it in. I actually like this in one pot pastas because I think that the starch released helps to make the pasta taste more creamy without needing to add anything else. Some pastas will make a more creamy sauce than others. It just depends on the ingredients in the pasta. Gluten-free pastas tend to make it a little bit more creamier than pasta containing gluten. So as you can see here, the pasta looks nicely cooked and the sauce is a little bit runnier than you want it to be. This is because it's going to thicken as it cools, and once it becomes easy for you to eat, it will be thick enough. And also because, as you can see right here, we're going to stir in some fresh spinach as well. So the extra sauce is going to coat those leaves. And then when you're done and all the spinach is wilted, you're left with a perfectly sauced, perfectly cooked pasta that you made in one freaking pot. How cool is that? So at this point, you can just toss it up and serve it. You can top this pasta however you'd like. Today, I just topped it with some thinly sliced fresh basil because I love adding fresh herbs on top of my pasta. And I also added some black pepper as well, but you could do vegan Parmesan cheese, vegan cheese, nothing at all. Really, whatever you want. I think a drizzled balsamic vinegar would actually be pretty good too. But as you can see, it's nice and lush and yummy and cozy and delicious. And that's it, guys. This recipe is really quick and easy, but I think that's honestly one of the reasons that I like it so much. I actually cook pasta a lot for quick dinners when I don't know what to make, because I can just cook the pasta on the side and then I saute my veggies and add my pasta sauce. But this method's even easier because it all cooks together and you only have one pan to clean up. And another thing is you can totally switch up the veggies, like I said in this video. You could do a more like puttanesca route and add a lot of red chili flakes, some capers, olives, or you can do like the classic thing, which is kind of what I did with tomatoes, mushrooms, and zucchini, or you can just use whatever you have in your fridge or pantry. The world is really your vegan oyster. So it's really easy to customize. You can make it gluten-free, but you don't have to make it gluten-free. You can use regular pasta noodles as well. Just make sure that when you do make it in a pot, you want your pot to be deep enough so it will hold all the liquid and still be easy enough to stir. So if you don't have a pot that's kind of deep like this, I would recommend just making it in a big soup pot instead, because you don't want to make it in just a saute pan. I actually love this pot. I will link it below. I got it a few weeks ago and have literally used it every day. First of all, it's really cute. Has a nice lid that you can rotate for different steaming options. It comes with a spoon that's built into the pot handle. So like, that's like a game changer for me, because I always get pasta sauce everywhere when I cook. It comes with a steamer basket, which you don't need for this recipe, but you could use for future things. But anyways, the main point is that you want a pot, as you can see, like my fingers going in, it's pretty deep. So this holds all the pasta and held the recipe well. I used it in the recipe video. So just keep that in mind when you do make this recipe. But other than that, as long as you use the right amount of pasta, the right amount of sauce, the right amount of water, you can pretty much do whatever the heck you want. So if you want to do this with like a vegan Alfredo sauce or like make a vegan cheese sauce, you could do that instead. You could use pesto instead if you wanted to make pesto pasta. And yeah, it's a really easy, delicious meal. You can serve it on its own. You could add in like some beans or something if you wanted to make it a little heartier. You could serve it with a side of bread or garlic nuts. But yeah, I think you get the point. So as always, the full recipe is linked in the description video, the description below. I always link my recipes there. It has all the instructions, all the measurements and US measurements and weight now. And I'll also have a link to my Pinterest page, so if you just want to save this recipe for later for another weeknight. It's also really good for meal prep too. Anyways, I think that's all I have to say. So if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Let me know if you want to see more one pot, one pan recipes or more convenient recipes in general. And if you haven't subscribed to my channel already, you can go ahead and click that button right down there. I post 1 to 2 new videos every single week. So that's it for this video. I hope you have an awesome day, and I look forward to virtually seeing you in the next one. Bye.